guys, I'm gonna show you how the track How to Build a Woman is constructed. What I think is interesting about this track is that I decided to record all the different instrumental parts by musicians, and I'm gonna show you that process of how the first draft sounds and then how I receive the files, and then I'm gonna show you a few mixing tips and tricks that I apply to this mix. I use FL Studio 11 to create the track. So the first part that I would like to hear are the drums. And when I finished the MIDI and sort of felt like I finished the composition, it sounded like this. So these are the MIDI notes. I composed a few different patterns. So as you can hear, these sounds are computer-like samples. So I wanted those drums to sound real. So I asked Joris Feiertag, who is a super talented producer, to record some drums. He sent me all the tracks in threefold, snare, kick and the overheads. So this is the final takes, which are then mixed through a transient shaper to keep the rides, his overheads, a bit lower. And I then added a little bit of distortion to make it sound more badass. The difference is like it's 10% wet. I then had to chop up his breaks a bit to have it just the way that I programmed it in the MIDI. It sounds so narrow-minded, but I wanted it to sound well. I had it in my mind. I feel it as a weakness to be a bit of an artistic, like tunnel vision. But on the other hand, I try to see it also as something that makes me unique, that I know exactly what I want, but it's never one of the two, it's always a mix. So I asked Anna Bakker, the girl who plays violin and does vocals in the project, to send me some violins, and she sent me like a lot of violins. Which I then panned right, left. This is left, and then second voice. I mean, just that is enough material to make a whole track work. I didn't do a lot with them. I EQ'd out the lows and I sent it to a lot of reverb because I love reverb. Next up is the bass. This is the MIDI and I have a really good plugin for that. It's called Trillian, which just really has the best contrabass sound I know. I was actually just curious to find out how an upright bass would sound if it played, so I asked Spruyt to record his upright bass, which sounds like. He sent it in 3 tracks. He sent the pickup and 2 mics. So I used the low frequencies of the pickup and the more spatial aspects of the mics. You hear a few differentiations in the volume, which is because I side-chained the bass on the kick. It creates space for the kick. So next up is the trumpet. I asked 2 trumpet players to play some solos to it. I asked Luuk and I asked Luuk Hof. I just couldn't choose because I thought there were amazing parts in both of the takes. That's the dry signal. Now I add a bit of my basic EQing. And then I add this amazing plugin called Little Altar Boy from Soundtoys, and it transposes the sound's formant separate from its bass tone. Listen what it does. I added an octave below to give it more body. And then I added the best part of mixing. I added the verb and the delay. Listen up. I love it. I love the delay. So those are Luuk's tracks, and these are Luuk's tracks. And I love the way how Luuk played it with a bit more air. It sounds super dreamy, and I love that. I wanted to show you all these elements of the different instrumentalists that played, and of course I did my own electronica wizardry stuff. But I'll just let you hear a few separate elements right now, so you can have an idea of what the track is made of. It's interesting to note, this is a sort of kalimba sound. Here I also added that octaver plugin called Alto Boy, so listen up what it sounds like without. This is dry. No. I love how it sounds more natural, more recorded, and that's just a vibe that I absolutely love. Listen to the track, listen to it on Spotify. I hope you like it.